Friends, again, next lesson that is on hashtag success sauce, chapter 8, hashtag win-win obstinacy, 8.3, third lesson of chapter 8. For so many lessons, I had been telling you my personal stories and experiences. Please do not think that I am bragging for myself or advertising myself. These are difficult situations I had faced. How did I overcome? How did I win ultimately? Those are the messages I want to transfer to you, to your mind, so that you can get yourself ready for your situation. Your situation will be definitely different, definitely not identical to mine, but the message will be same. Now, for a change, I am telling you some other stories. In fact, the factual stories told by my father is in judiciary before independence, that means in the year 45-46. My father used to be one of the juries in a high court, and there we are narrating the situation there. Mr. John is the high court judge, very famous and very strict, and his judgments are worth noting down. That is why my father had chosen that court and was a jury there. The situation was that a village called Pakur, Pakur, his king was in difficulty. His personal assistant and doctor and manager was conspiring to take the whole property out of him. And the case lingered on for a long time. Finally, it hinged on a priest. And if the opposition can prove that priest is a fraud, then the king loses the case. And if he is proved to be the right person, he will be winning the case. Therefore, judgment was based on the arguments pushed by both the sides. And judge found that the argument put by very eminent lawyer on the opposite side was so strong that it is but natural the priest will be proved a fraud. Priest was put for asking questions, and the opponent lawyer asked him verse number so and so of Gita. Gita is supposed to be memorized by all priests. He could not answer because he is from village. He is awestruck by seeing the glamour and other luxurious things around and the court. So he was so afraid that he could not answer anything. And then the lawyer asked about another verse, famous verse. He could not answer. So he looked at the judge and said, "My lord, Therefore, I prove that the priest is a fraud. And the judge knew all along the priest is right, he is not a fraud. So, what does he do? He found out an innovative way to win the situation for the truth. So he kept quiet for a minute and said, "This is John, judge of the High Court, is calling Mrs. Alice, his wife, to come on to the dock." And it was so surprising. Mrs. Alice every day comes at 4:45, just before closing of the court, and both of them go home together. That was their regular routine. And Mrs. Alice is asked to stand on the dock. It was so annoying and so disturbing for Mrs. Alice. He kept quiet. The judge repeated that this is the High Court judge asking Mrs. Alice to stand on the dock for the second time. This time, Mrs. Alice's face was absolutely red in anger and insult. She did not move 1 inch. Third time, judge said, "This is judge of the High Court asking Mrs. Alice to come onto the dock. And if she does not do so, she knows the law. She will be behind the bars for 6 months." Then Mrs. Alice had to come because she knew if she does not come, she will go to prison for 6 months. So she came there standing on the dock, and then Mr. John explained to the public that she is my wife, Mrs. Alice, and she is a British citizen, born and brought up in London. She is a Christian, Catholic Christian, and very devout Christian that way. And therefore, she knows the Old Testament and the New Testament by heart. Now I will ask her verse number so and so of the Old Testament. Mrs. Alice, please quote. She was so disturbed, so annoyed, so insulted, that feeling so insulted that she just couldn't say anything. And then the judge said, "Okay, now next chance for you, Old Testament, New Testament, verse number so and so." Again she could not answer anything. Then judge said, "So, Mr. Opponent lawyer, you cannot tell her to be a fraud. Look at her emotional condition. She feels insulted, she feels angry, and that is why she has forgotten everything. Her memory is temporarily lost. I'll help her." The Old Testament, verse number so and so that I had asked her first, runs like this. And I will quote the first word and the last word. And immediately she said the whole verse, and she could understand that it was not an insult to her, it was a recognition to her. Then the judge said, "Now about the New Testament, I will again quote the first word and the last word, and I hope she will be able to quote it." She immediately recited the verse, and then judge said, "Okay, thank you." So Alice had gone, Mrs. Alice had gone, and then judge said, Now you give the priest same chance. You whatever slokas you have asked, give him the first word and the last word, and let us see whether he can quote it. By the time, although the priest was from the village, he could understand what all was happening, how the lady got annoyed, how the lady felt insulted, how she could not answer. Now the priest went on to the dock, and then the opponent lawyer gave him clue, two words, first word and the last word of the sloka he had asked. Immediately priest recited it. And second sloka also, first word and second word hint was given by the lawyer. Immediately priest quoted the whole sloka. The judge looked at the lawyer and said, "So, my dear friend, the priest is not a fraud. He is a genuine person. Therefore, the case is dismissed in favor of King of Village Pakur, and the court is adjourned for today." So both of them, Mr. John and Mrs. Ellis, had left the court as usual, bang at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Therefore, you can understand, my friends, this is a real life story where the judge had to sort of annoy and insult even his wife to get to the bottom of the truth and make truth win ultimately. And that is what is the message that I am telling you to follow and find a way out to get to the bottom of the truth. Don't be afraid, my dear.